Hi friends, this is Mundan Raghavan, and this video we are going to see the thread group in JMeter. Thread groups are nothing but the user groups. When we choose for JMeter scenarios, we will be choosing the different functional flows which can be considered as the happy paths. Considering the Google, we may have the search scenario for the images or books, or it can be normal news. So each functionality will be taken care by the group of users. So those users will be represented in JMeter as a thread group. So how to add the thread group and what are the different attributes we need to set up when you consider the thread group. Let's go to the JMeter, and as usual we will be having the test plan. Right click on the test plan, click add and threads and use the thread group. Now each scenario will be handled by a set of users. For example, let's say searching particular text for images under the Google will be one scenario, and this scenario consider, let's say 100 users are using this scenario to search it. So those will be considered as a thread group for images. The same thing, for example, automation testing as the text, and you need to search under the news. So this scenario will be tested by the different set of users. Consider, let's say 150 users, and those users will be considered as a different group altogether. So that means that each and every group will be doing the individual scenario on its own. The simple entity will be the thread group, and when you consider the thread group, for example, let's make our thread group for the Google search for books on JMeter. So the same way we can have the different scenarios. For example, search JMeter images. The same thread group will be repeated. Just to understand this one, you will be having the thread group for the simple understanding, only one thread group here. And here you will be giving the thread group and the comments. And here you will be having the different action to be taken after a sample error. That means that you are doing the same scenario with the different kinds of users. For example, 100 users. And when they do the action, if something error happen in one scenario, in one sample, what has to be done? So they can continue, they can start the next thread loop, and what is loop we will see it again. And we can stop the thread. That means that the user will be stopped there. And you can stop the entire test case. For example, stopping the thread will be the only one user is stopping among a different set of users, whereas stopping test will be the stopping entire set of users. And stop test now, that means that on that particular moment it will be stopping immediately without considering the other set of users and threads. Now coming to the thread properties, here it will be very easy. It is something like a number of users for each individual group, thread group. Let's say, for example, as we discussed, let's make it 100. And ramp up period. So that means that in real time you will not be having every users will be just approaching the same website on the same time. That means that the load will be increasing incrementally. So for that we will be giving some ramp up period. That means that initially it will be 5 seconds and 10 seconds and 15 seconds, or even you can consider something like the 100 users will be added in a gradual manner. That means that if you mention 5 seconds, then every second there will be 10 users or 5 users will be added, rather than adding every user in a first second itself. And the loop count. So loop count here means that every user will be doing only one time of action to approaching that website or to doing the same happy path. You can mention the loop count. That means that the same happy path by individual user can be repeated the number of times that you mention under the loop count. And other options will be very similar things. So delay thread creation until needed, and specify thread lifetime. If you mention something like that, you will be mentioning the entire thread lifetime. That means that no matter how many users, how many time it takes for each individual happy path, this entire thread group will be working for that given duration. And startup delay, that means that it will give some time in the startup to start the thread group. And moreover, you can see the lot of articles, but I found this article is very useful. You can just go through it again if you want to have an individual description about what we discussed, name, commands, and let's say the loop count and scheduler. Even you can schedule it and start time, end time, and startup delay and everything. It is a very good article, but here you can see the lot of comments, or let's say the lot of ads are coming here. In, let's say, just copy the same URL, go to the Edge browser, and you can copy paste the same, enter, and here you can see something called read mode. If you just click on that, it will be showing only the text content and the basic images that is part of your article. Apart from that, it will be removing all the other things so that you can read in a read mode. So this will be very useful if you are going through any documentation or any articles which is for JMeter or any other topic. So coming back to the JMeter here, so now we have seen all of things. Now under the thread group, now we will be adding the samplers. That means that here we are telling how many users, how many times they need to repeat, and let's see how much time we want to delay or how many times they need to iterate each and individual users about the scenario. But actually we have not mentioned what is actual scenario that has to be tested by this user group or thread group. So that will be the sampler that we will be seeing in the coming sessions. So this is all about the thread group in this video. So thanks for watching and have a great day.